Okay, here's the sitch. I've always wanted to say that. It's 112 degrees outside right now. My camera's about to shut down. I need to harvest everything because we're in a heat wave. It's gonna be hotter tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a high of 114. So I need to get everything inside ASAP. Also, the birds are destroying the garden. I thought they were my friends, but now they are my sworn enemies. Let's get started. Look how, oh, it's a little cat-faced, so we'll see what it looks like on the inside. But aside from cracking a little bit, it still looks pretty good. There's a few more tomatoes on this plant. I hope that they're able to ripen before they get sunburned. The rest of the tomato plant still looks pretty good. The leaves show a little bit of distress. As you can see, they're starting to curl, and that's just because of the heat wave that we're in right now. They looked a lot better a few weeks ago, and they'll look a lot better in the fall if they're able to make it until then, which we'll have to see because a lot of my other tomato plants have already given up on me. And honestly, I don't blame them because I want to give up on myself too with this heat wave. Running around, running around. Okay, over. Oh no, the birds, you guys. I had a few Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes over here. The birds got to them. Look at that. Oh, come on. I even set up water for them to try and get them to stay away from the garden plants, but now they're going for both. They're drinking the water and then they're coming over and then still eating my fruit. And because it's so hot outside, I can't keep running out here every 5 minutes. I'm still gonna take all of these tomatoes off, as you can see right there, to try and get the plant to fruit a little bit more. But that's so unfortunate. Oh, every single ripe one. I think what I might also start doing is going through and bagging them. Even the ones down here they pecked at. Look at that. This one wasn't even fully ripe yet. They still found it. I was actually gonna harvest several of these Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes a few days ago, but I kept holding off so that I could film it for you guys. And now I regret it so much because the rest of them are still green. So they're gonna have to stay on there a little bit longer. And then this one over here doesn't have any that are ripe. No. Moving on to the San Marzano, there's a few that are starting to blush. They're not fully ripe yet, as you can see, but they're gonna have to finish ripening. And all right, there's gonna be a bunch of jump cuts because my camera already shut down on me. It overheated. But next I'm gonna move on to these peppers right here, which have already started turning red. Oh, this one's way too squishy. They're so ripe, they're falling right off. Okay, I think that's it. I remember there being more. I wonder if the birds got to some of them. I don't feel as bad that the birds got to some of my peppers because I have way more than enough to spare, but some of them are becoming really squishy. Oh no, I might have waited too long for these. I'm gonna take some of these green ones as well. I made a salsa the other day with red peppers. It was so good. I used up a ton of the tomatoes from the garden along with a bunch of the red peppers, and it was extra spicy but very delicious. And I think what I'm gonna do is start dehydrating some of these. I have a dehydrator. I just tend to use it during the fall months for some reason, but you guys are right. A lot of people recommended dehydrating the peppers and making them into a powder. That way I can cook with that, and I think that's a really good idea. There's so many. So you guys can see they didn't get very large this time. They're still nice and plump, but they're changing quickly because of the temperatures. I don't know if you guys are going through a heat wave right now as well, but it is so miserable to be outside in the garden. I'm so glad I set up the drip when I did because now I don't have to come out here to water anything, which makes life a lot easier because I only have about 2 hours to be out here when the UV index isn't crazy high before the sun goes down. And I'm able to use that time to clean the garden, to do other chores that I wouldn't be able to otherwise, because I'd probably be spending my time watering the garden. It looks like we still have a few clusters of tomatoes. Oh no! That the birds are already starting to get to. Can you guys see that? So this one's gotta go. And then this one's gotta go as well. Oh no, they pecked at this one too. And this one, and oh no. Well, there goes that cluster. I think oh, no, not again. So I have one so far. During the day, they come out here and they're jumping around, scratching into the garden beds, taking out my seedlings. It's very frustrating. So if you guys have any advice on how to prevent that from happening, please let me know, because I feel like I'm at my wit's end. I'm gonna bring these indoors. This is a variety that I thought was Habanada peppers, but then they started coming out like this. They started showing up with different shapes. The good thing is that they're very straight, so hopefully that means that they'll be sweet. Should I do a taste test? Have I not learned my lesson? Oh, here's another one. I was super excited for all of these eggplants. This one right here looks pretty good. Look at that. But it has lost some of its sheen, and then the skin is starting to get a little bit wrinkled. But as you can see on this side, it's not fully ripe, and this is happening because it's just far too hot here. This variety is the Kamo Eggplant. Last time I think I got it mixed up. I don't know if for sure it's a Kamo or an Oswald eggplant. But I want to show you this because look at these other ones. They started splitting, and I don't think it's due to overwatering. I think it's because everything dries out so quickly during the day because of the high temperatures, and then they get watered again. And so there's way too many fluctuations even with regular watering. So I'm going to leave that in there. I found another one. This one's still pretty good, but it stayed relatively small. And I think there was one more that was also splitting. Oh yeah, here we go. This one doesn't look that bad, but I don't want to eat it. Right now what I'm doing is just leaving all of these fruit that we're not going to take inside in the garden bed so that they can start to break down. But I'm also going to set up some more containers soon, and I'm going to start adding a lot of this into that. That way it can have organic matter, and then the red wriggler worms can start breaking it down. My bell peppers were starting to fill in nicely, and then they started becoming sunburnt, as you can see right here. The rest of it looks pretty good, but the portion that faces the sun became very leathery. And the same thing over here, so I'm going to just leave these in the garden beds. They're so squishy, they don't even feel good anymore. I just heard the irrigation come on. But let's go ahead and give this little shishito pepper plant some relief by taking off a lot of this fruit. Hopefully it won't try and fruit again. There was some blooms starting to take place, but I feel like because it's so hot, I'd rather it just reserve its energy to stay alive during the summer months. I think I'm gonna... Oh, I thought I saw something move, but it was just a shade cloth. I think I'm gonna start putting these in stir fries. Okay, so back to my bird problem, you guys. I am brainstorming what I can do. I started setting up water for them in hopes that they will eventually leave the rest of the garden plants alone. But maybe I'm also gonna buy some rubber snakes on Amazon. My only worry with that is that I'll forget that they're rubber snakes and I'll be screaming every single time I come out into the garden. The possibility of that happening is extremely high, so I don't know about that. I also thought about buying some fake owls and then placing them around the garden. That way they can keep them away. But I also saw a lot of reviews from people saying that the birds are so smart, they started coming up and actually pecking at the fake owls. Is there anything that's worked for you guys? Because they're eating everything. And I know that they're thirsty, so I'm sending out water. And I'm debating about whether to buy bird food or not, because what if then they get mad whenever I'm not able to refill it and they destroy everything else? I mean, they're already destroying things, but what if they destroy more things? Oh, the rest of these are starting to dry on the plant and they're so tiny. Look at that, and it's just because it's so hot. Next up, I'm gonna remove this grow bag, which I didn't have set up on drip. And I'm gonna see if I can get any potato harvest out of here. Look at this little plant still hanging in there. I haven't watered this in I don't know how long, and it's bone dry. I mean, look at the soil. There's no moisture to it. Ooh, but I'm already finding some cute potatoes. Ooh, the red ones I sowed, you guys. Let's keep going. Oh, you guys. Look at these. They're actually a lot darker than the ones that I've harvested in the past, and maybe that's due to lack of water. But I don't see any green so far, which is a good sign. And they're much bigger than the ones I've harvested in the past. There are a couple of small ones though. Oh, here's another one. Oh, that one's so little. Look at that. And another one. And I'm wearing my gloves because the seed potatoes sometimes tend to rot, and I freak out whenever I touch them because I assume that it's something else. I feel like these plants honestly could have produced a lot more had they been set up on drip. Ooh, look at this one. Oh, that's beautiful. A red one. Oh, I think the red ones are my favorite to harvest, but my favorite to eat are the gold ones. Another red one. Oh no, is that it? Please let there be more. Okay, I don't blame you guys either. It's way too hot, right? Here's a teeny tiny one. Oh, this is a good sized one. And another one. Oh, this one was starting to sprout again. Oh, let's take those off. Well, oh, this is a seed potato. See what I mean? It's so gross looking. Oh, wait. Oh, this one was starting to sprout. Should I rebury this one? I think I will when I set everything up again. The harvest from this grow bag was not the best, but it was honestly a lot better than I thought it would be. And I don't blame it because I didn't continue watering these. But I have another one, so let's check that one out. The other potato bag is back there. Let me move everything else aside. Okay, let's try and drag it out. You can see the stalks are a lot taller. This one did have a little bit of drip set up, but I definitely could have done a better job. And I set up drip a few weeks ago, so let's see what we can harvest. Oh, okay, these are the russet ones. I think this might be the seed potato, right? I mean, it doesn't feel squishy. Okay, I'm gonna set it aside because I'm not entirely sure. Whoa, are these the seed potatoes? I can't really tell. Oh, they do feel squishy. Okay, I think it is. Oh, see, I feel like I can tell for sure that this one is because look how ugly it looks. Now let's start digging for treasure. Ooh, look at this one. The soil already feels so much better, and I can see roots in here, which I didn't see in the prior grow bag. The size on these is a lot bigger as well, but I think that's just because they actually had water. Ooh. Oh, maybe this was a seed potato. Looks, oh, and it feels really nasty. Oh no, something bit through it. Oh no. Oh, I see it. It's one of those, the one that has the little pinchers on it. Pincers? Something I'm noticing is, this is one of those potato bags where I added a lot of clippings from the garden in here. You can see some of that starting to break down. So it's turned into like really rich soil. Not all of it is fully broken down, but there was a lot of organic matter in here. I know sometimes whenever people have really large containers, not just grow bags, but even plastic containers or any other material, they like to fill the bottom with things like pool noodles or styrofoam or plastic. Personally, I don't like doing that. I feel like that doesn't add anything to the soil. What I like to do is any clippings from my front yard, anything that I take out from the garden beds, I put that into my containers and then continue to add onto that soil. That way you have really rich organic matter in there and your plants are able to thrive a lot better. I don't see a whole lot of potatoes though, but look at all this. Here's a little one with something eating at them. Here's another one. There we go. It was starting to sprout again. Is there no one else? I mean, the soil in here smells amazing. It smells like fresh earth, but I don't see any more potatoes. So maybe these were the potatoes that came out of it. I doubt it though, and all of them have little holes from the, what are they called? Those little bugs have started digging holes into these. Look, there's another one right there. Oh, this one should have performed a lot better because it was set up on drip, but it looks like all I did was just keep the little bugs in there extra happy. There's a few more tomatoes over here. I'm gonna take the orange ones because the red ones over here have already been pecked by the birds. I'm feeling kind of bummed out because today's harvest was supposed to be a really big one. I had a ton of peppers, bell peppers everywhere. I had several eggplant and tomatoes, and the things that the sun didn't get to, the birds did. So I'm gonna try and cheer myself up by grabbing a couple of these grapes right here. These I covered with organza bags a few weeks ago, thank goodness, because the birds were already starting to notice them. And even now, sometimes I'll see them hop over here and then they'll try and peck at them, but because of the organza bags, they can't do much damage. This is a Flame Seedless variety and not all of the clusters are ready, but I tried some with my kids and they are so sweet. Let me try a green one though. I don't know how sweet these will be, but the red ones aren't fully red and they taste extremely sweet, like from 1 to 10, like a 10. So good. One cluster never hurt anybody. Look how beautiful that is. Most of them are green, but I think my husband will like those because those are his favorite, and then me and the kids can eat the purple ones. I almost forgot about these, so I have some bell peppers growing over here. Some of them do have blossom end rot like this one right here, but I think the majority of them should be ready to come inside. Look at how pretty that is. These would be perfect on top of pizza. The reason I'm not going to leave them on here longer is because I feel like they're going to get either sunburned because they get full sun over here, or the birds are going to find them eventually. This one was starting to turn though, and you guys can see right here, they're starting to get a little bit sunburned. Oh, and then this one definitely has blossom end rot. So let's leave that in there. I think that's it. Oh no, there's one more. Oh, that one looks really pretty. It's so unfortunate because a lot of these lemon guavas had been on the tree for a while and they were starting to ripen, but as you can see, they started being scorched by the sun. This one over here has a little bit of color, so maybe we'll get to try it and see what it tastes like. And here's what I harvested during the heat wave.